France legally bans short-haul flights where a train alternative of 2.5 hours or less exists.
Here's a summary of the article.
France has passed the bill to ban short-haul flights through Parliament where a train alternative of 2.5 hours or less exists, something that has been in place, practically speaking, for a while. While France declared its legal ban a world first for environmentalists, the law has been watered down far too much. The ban was originally put forward by a citizens' convention that suggested all flights should be banned if there is a 6-hour train journey available, which would have banned more flights. Planes traveling between Marseille and Lyon are exempt from the ban, as are flights between Rennes and Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris. Connecting flights from outside France are unaffected. The ban doesn't cover private jets, something that environmentalists are campaigning heavily for in France. It is now calling on the EU to push for bans in other countries to help solve the climate crisis, and the French government plans to add more routes to the ban when it is reviewed in 3 years.
This post received a score of 34,000, with an upvote ratio of 94%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
I wish the article included stats on the percentage of flight this affects. Especially cause it has exemptions and doesn't affect private jets. Not enough info to weigh the impact of this.
It's 3 routes in total, Paris to Nantes, Lyon and Bordeaux. Not that much of a difference, and pointedly, some would say specifically, excluding Toulouse and Marseille.
So by the sounds of things it's only domestic flights, not trips like Paris-London or Paris-Brussels, which almost certainly aren't 2.5 hours or more.
It's probably tougher to ban international flights.
What do you mean? You can simply prevent flights from destinations you don't want. You can also prevent carriers from allowing direct flights to places you don't want. Governments do this all the time for areas considered volatile. Why can't you do the same by saying the flights don't meet some climate metric? It takes time and you need to move forward, and hopefully people will ask for more. However, it's banning something like 5,000 flights per year. A drop in the bucket.
Greater than what do you mean? You can simply prevent flights from destinations you don't want. You can also prevent carriers from allowing direct flights to places you don't want. Aviation is governed by international treaties and affected by broader laws, like EU regulations. Addressing those is likely not impossible, but it's far harder to do, and it might be more efficient to try and do this than sell the EU on expanding it than it would be to try and do it unilaterally anyways.
Plus, you would have to expand transit visa issuance for non-Schengen areas to compensate. Trains don't have international zones like airports do. They could put restrictions on both domestic and Schengen flights, but then they would run into the problem you mentioned. I realize that a few nationalities need an airport transit visa to even sit in the airport, but this process is slightly different than when you need one to board a train to pass through the Schengen area on your way to somewhere else.
When taking the Eurostar trains, you go through customs before boarding the train and are then considered to be in the destination country from an immigration standpoint. So conceivably you could build a station at the airport and make it accessible from the international zone.
What about private jets, guys?
They can continue to do as they please.
And all was right with the world.
Hey, one day I might be a billionaire.
With a twist. The private flights are not affected, which means the rich will continue to fly around as they please, until at least 2024, when they'll probably get another pass. Because the laws are never made to hinder rich folks, ever.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.